Hello, everybody out there on YouTube. Once again, it is the three middle-aged guys just bullshitting about nothing. I am the Reverend.
The theme here.
Gray Mouse One.
And this week, we're going to start off our Geek Week and review a lot of video game news. First thing that came up is actually a really huge topic that we're going to try to get through cohesively. Earlier this week, well, I got to be honest, this is going to be a challenge for us, especially since we know that we get to be really verbose on things. All right. Earlier this week, August 23rd, 2016, Time Magazine went out of their way in their tech section. They released out a new list where they ranked the 50 best video games of all time. Now, this is really interesting to me because the thing is that Time Magazine is not an industry magazine. They're not an industry publication. They're not handled by gamers. And because of that, their particular views on games that are out there and where they list or where they end up as being the best game out there is going to be really different than what your normal gamer would go ahead and rank. The other thing that we have to keep in mind is that since they're not an industry publication and they're not an industry site, they're not going to be swayed by whichever publisher is giving them the most fucking advertisement money. All right? They're going to go off and they're going to do their thing, and they're not going to sit there. You're not going to see something that's on the current top selling list, probably in the top 10 of this fucking list. It's not going to happen. It's really a non-gamers list, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to go over it really quick. All right. And if you go up to Time Magazine, we'll go ahead and leave a link in the description of the videos here so you can actually read the list for yourself. But we're just going to go through them really quick. At number 50, they have King's Quest III to Err is Human. At 49, they have Dota 2. At 48, they have Angry Birds. Okay. At 47, they have Guitar Hero. At 46, they have Resident Evil 4. 45, Gran Turismo 3 A-Spec. 44, Super Smash Brothers. 43, Call of Duty 2, which I think is actually one of the better Call of Duties. 42, BioShock. 41, ESPN NFL 2K5. Now, what's funny is that I think this is like one of the few sports games on here, and it's not fucking Madden.
That's one astonishing thing that I want to point out a little bit later on.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see here. At 40, they have pretty much the one who established the genre, or excuse me, the industry, Pong.
Yes.
Yep.
I would have been pretty angry if that didn't make the list.
Yeah, I'd actually be. I'd be really, really surprised. I mean, people may not realize exactly how that influenced everybody else, but it did really set up an industry for the ones that video gamers enjoy now.
The significance of these first 10 games, the 50 to 40. I mean, you got games like Guitar Hero that actually created the genre, the music and rhythm genre per se, that really where you could actually play
instruments.
Yeah.
With a prep rail.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just saying with instruments. That's what I was saying. I was like, and it just blew up from there, man.
Yep. I mean, there's a lot of interesting things, but let's continue on.
Yep.
At 39, a classic, Castlevania.
That should be a little bit lower in my opinion, but that's fine.
Or higher in the list, you mean?
Oh, yeah, higher. Yeah.
Okay, 38, Portal 2. All right.
I was surprised that Portal 2 was in there and not Portal.
And not the first one. The
first one was revolutionary.
Yep. I mean, but you know, in terms of games, it did make improvements. It's as far as people who've actually played the series, though, it didn't have the same wow factor. Portal was just so brand new. Let's continue on. 37, we have Braid.
Excellent game.
36, we have Fallout 3. 35, Galaga.
Yes.
This is another one that just had to be on the list, to be completely honest. All right. 34, Red Dead Redemption.
That was an interesting choice, to be honest with you.
Well, considering, there are other Rockstar titles, but I actually like the fact that they chose this one too. But we'll get it.
Western of all things is what's crazy about that.
Well, the funny thing about it is that there aren't too many Western games. And that particular one is probably the best one that's out there.
I was going to say there are not many Western games that do so well.
Yeah, you know, outside of Gunsmoke, but that's another,
That's
another topic.
Sunset Riders.
True. True. All right. Well, let's continue on. 33, Super Mario Kart.
Oh my God!
Who's going to argue that being on the list? Period.
I spent so much time playing that as a kid on the Super Nintendo, man.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
You know, I'm not a huge Super Mario Kart fan, but I would have actually, thinking about it myself, that it'd be a little bit higher on the list. You know, the problem is that I haven't had the chance to sit down there and play multiplayer for Super Mario Kart with a whole bunch of other people. And when it came to a point where I actually could, when Super Mario Kart hit the DS, that was a huge, oh man, just jumping into that was just something else altogether. But let's continue on, okay? 32, we have Wolfenstein 3D.
Yes, no arguments here for that one.
Yep. 31, we have The Sims. 30.
It has its place.
Yep. Breaking into 30, we have Pokemon Red and Blue. They decided to go ahead and throw them both in together as one.
Talk about a game that has its place.
Yes.
What about where's Pokemon Yellow, man? Where's the Pikachu edition?
Well, you know what's since it's considered part of the first generation of vanilla Pokemon games, I think that's where it would probably fit.
Yeah.
All right. At 29, we have Myst.
That one really surprised me because
a lot of people so much time playing that.
A lot of people overlook Myst.
Yep.
In every list, you hardly ever see that game.
Yep. And this is one of the reasons, again, why I think this list is interesting, because it's a list that's put together that by folks who aren't dedicated video game industry people. But let's continue on. 28, Donkey Kong.
Can't argue that. That classic arcade.
It's on like Donkey Kong.
Yep.
How high can you go?
Yep.
How high can you get?
Or how high can you get?
Let's get, the only thing I'm going to contribute on Donkey Kong is that actually I've read this list a few times. I think this is probably the one that's at the most perfect spot because it sits like
it's right
there in the middle.
Almost in the middle, yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right. 27, we have Mortal Kombat.
I can't argue that in its place. That belongs in, yes.
Okay. At 26, we have StarCraft 2, Wings of Liberty.
StarCraft, yep.
Yep. Now, I mean, I'm not a big RTS fan, but I know StarCraft. So, 25, Halo, Combat Evolved. Yep.
Lots and lots of fun. Lots and lots of fun, and that was the primary or the only reason why people got the first Xbox.
Especially
I'm guilty.
at launch. All right.
I'm guilty. I got the Xbox because of that game. That was a system seller.
Yep.
That and Crimson Skies, man. So anyway.
Yep. All right. At 24, now I know this is going to piss a lot of people off, is Final Fantasy VII.
It'll piss people off if you don't appreciate the games that are above it.
Yeah. But
it's in a perfect place. It has its niche.
Yeah, I think it's an appropriate place too. Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. Number 23, we have Microsoft Flight Simulator 10. Don't have much to say about that. I've not played any of the.
I've never played that, so
yeah. Okay.
Can't comment if it's good or bad or whatever.
All right. I do know though I remember there was that one time where there was that one Japanese dude who hijacked a 747 Japanese flight, and he went ahead and he landed the plane, and then he gave himself up to police, and they asked him why he did that, and he said that he had played Microsoft Flight Simulator and he wanted to know if he could actually fly a plane.
That's insane.
Yeah, that's from like 1997 when that happened. Okay. All right. Continuing on. Number 22, we have GoldenEye 007.
Understand its place on the list.
On the list.
Yep.
I understand, but I hate the golden gun.
I think everybody hated the golden gun.
Except everybody that wanted to fucking use it, which was usually 3 out of the 4 people in the party.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man. Shooting somebody in the toe and killing them. That's awesome.
Well,
I'm being facetious.
Unless you're that
No, you're
asshole
not. That
playing.
actually happens.
Unless you're that asshole playing Odd Job, in which case it was like, yeah, you had to shoot for the guy's toes just to hit the fucker. You know. All right, moving on. Number 21, we have Diablo 2. All right,
It
which
absolutely belongs on the list.
yes,
Look, 2 or 3 could have made the list.
yeah, but I think as far as contributions and you know being the big thing that other games were compared to, Diablo 2 is like a mainstay even now.
That was one of the best dungeon crawler games around for a long time.
Yep. All righty. Now let's go into the top 20, and this is where things I think get a little bit interesting. In fact, most lists get interesting when you get into the upper echelon. At 20, we have Zork.
Text only.
Yep.
That's what certain games used to be back then, were text only on your Commodore 64 or your Apple or your Apple II or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, the game is almost 40 years old. But geez, for when it came to actually adventure games and stuff like that, there was a lot that was done with just text. You know?
Text, yeah. Yep. There was a lot put into it.
Yep, exactly.
For back in the day.
Yep. I mean,
that's when you had to type in and you had to put go west, go east.
Yeah.
Draw sword.
Yeah.
And you hope that the text commands that you put in actually made sense to the developers too.
Yeah. But that's another thing, because usually when you got your instructions, which instructions mattered back then, it gave you a list on what you could actually use for the most part.
Yep. I mean, and instruction books just don't come with games anymore. It's just funny. All righty. Yep. Moving on. Number 19, Space Invaders.
Yes.
Look. I just got one thing to say. Either that or asteroids could have made that place.
Yeah.
Because that's it.
But if you think about it, Space Invaders, though, all right. The funny thing that a lot of people didn't realize with the Atari 2600 was that Pac-Man was not its first hit.
Okay? No, it wasn't.
The first hit that actually made people go out and fucking get a 2600 or Atari VCS was goddamn Space Invaders.
Space Invaders. And then the second was Asteroids.
Yep.
And you got Missile Command.
Yep. But
hey, I played Journey Escape.
Yeah. But Space Invaders.
Never heard of that game.
But Space Invaders, for a lot of people, especially a lot of folks who were brand new to gaming at the time, that was like, it's like, hey, you've got these aliens and you have your cannon.
They're trying to invade.
Yeah. Shoot them before they stomp you dead.
And they go faster the more you shoot.
Exactly. And then when you lose, you lose because the game just goes, ugh.
or whatever.
Yep.
And if you have a DS, play Space Invaders fucking
Extreme.
Extreme, yeah.
I think any of these could have worked. Space Invaders, Asteroids, or even what's that other one? I had it in mind. Huh?
Missile Command?
No. Centipede. Any of those could have fit in there.
We could name a whole bunch of games that could place that slot, but let's move on.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. All right. At 18, this is actually one of the newer games on the list, is Rise of the Tomb Raider. Okay.
Okay. Have a couple of gripes with that, but I'll go into that later.
Yeah. But I will say that playing the first Tomb Raider game, at least Crystal Dynamics reboot for it's a great game. Rise of Tomb Raider, have to get a hold of it. I'd have a better sense of where this.
I know why they put it on this list, because it's like it brought Tomb Raider back to its roots, back to where the main focus was exploring in that game.
Okay.
It wasn't just where they went off. But anyway, I digress. Go ahead.
Yep. All right. So 17, we have Half-Life 2.
Yes.
Yep.
Orange box. That's all I say about that. Orange box.
Yep. I mean, it's great. 16, we have Grand Theft Auto 3. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of the Grand Theft Auto series, but I will completely recognize the type of technical prowess and hard fucking work that went in that game, and how it actually set up the whole genre of sandbox game.
Sandbox, yeah.
I mean, just the ability to go out and do
whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, and not whatever that you want, but as many things as you could actually do in that game, especially when you considered that, you know, it was released out in 2001, 15 fucking years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for a home console, also not for PC.
Not for PC, yeah.
Yeah, fucking amazing when you think about it, you know. So, like I said, I'm not the biggest Grand Theft Auto fan, but yeah, I'll recognize that easily. All right.
One of the better sandbox games for that time.
Some people say it's the best one.
Yep. All right. So breaking into the top 15, and we're making good time here. 15, we have Counter-Strike. Yeah, when it comes to competitive first-person shooters, this was the shit. All right.
Especially on PC.
Yeah, this is what set it up, really. All right. This is what set up online multiplayer.
Yes, it did.
All right. Now, as far as first-person shooters go, one that ranks a little bit higher, at least according to time, at 14 we have Quake.
Which underrated, still underrated, regardless of how much praise that Quake gets. And I'm happy that it's coming back.
Yep.
For Quake 4. Yep. I was really happy when that announcement was that this year Quake coming back, and one thing that a lot of people don't understand about Quake is they actually created the arena multiplayer.
It did, yes.
And that's what people don't realize. That's why it belongs on this list. If not, it's a fun game to play, but when you're playing it with multiplayer, that created the arena multiplayer.
Yeah.
What else can you say?
Well, the other thing that you can say is that, technically speaking, it was one of the first games that was fully rendered out in 3D with brand new fucking polygons. And up until Quake, really, there wasn't a lot of games that required somebody to get a video card. But once Quake came out, it was like, oh, 3DFX Voodoo, they became a fucking brand name that gamers knew about, you know. And that's really what pushed that particular part of the industry. All right, continuing on. 13, we have SimCity 2000.
I like SimCity until the garbage hazards appeared, like Godzilla or
those were cool, man. Come on.
Fuck that. You build your city up and you have everything going in perfect harmony, and next thing you know, this fucking lizard shows up. It's like, come on, how am I supposed to deal with that?
That is awesome. SimCity definitely belongs on this list.
I understand that, but that's what I had a grudge against SimCity when that shit happened to me. I was like, fuck, everything was working. I had the perfect city, and then this monster shows up and says, fuck you, you gotta, fuck.
Hey, at least you didn't have to worry about, you know, signing onto a fucking server and then not being able to in order to fucking play a single player campaign.
Let's not go there. Let's not go to that rant right now.
Okay, that's going to take way too much time. All right, continuing on. At number 12, Final Fantasy VI.
Is this 3 or 6?
6. 3. Three known in North America, but Final.
Okay, yeah.
All right.
Now, what made this game so good is that this was the first synthesized, or one of the best synthesized music in the Final Fantasy.
Super Nintendo, yes.
On Super Nintendo. I mean, there's a whole scene where at the opera is where it was just, and that, look, I'm telling you, it was mind blowing at the time. It really was.
Here's the thing about Final Fantasy VI that I've got to say. They did best. Square did best, and they have not been able to replicate in any of the Final Fantasy games later. Yes, including Final Fantasy VII, and I will fucking stick to that. All right, and that's the fact that Final Fantasy VI gave you 13 fucking playable characters that were fully fleshed out playable characters. All right. You had a reason for any one of those guys to be in your fucking party, okay? When it came to Final Fantasy VII, hey, I don't want fucking Aerith in my party. I don't want Kate Sith in my party. I don't want Red 15. Well, guess what? Don't give them any fucking materia. All right? The only thing you're fucking missing is their fucking limit breaks.
Another thing, too, is that we can touch on Final Fantasy VI. I think it was one of the most engrossing storylines as well. Because, I mean, depending on what your choices are, one of the characters commits suicide. I mean, you watch him throw himself off of a cliff, and you're like, you're sitting there as a kid watching this.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, they took some real risk with Final Fantasy VI when it came to like storytelling and how they were doing it. And not only that, but even now, okay, 2D lives on. Fucking the sprites look beautiful even now. Okay,
it does.
All right, but let's go on because we can probably go on for a little bit more. All right, so number 11, Sid Meier's Civilization 4.
Interesting.
Civilization. Oh my God! See, a lot of RTSs are showing up in this list. That's very interesting. This is like the third or fourth one.
Yep.
And Civilization, I played that on the PC. I played them all. I love Civilization, Koshaks, all these art. I grew up on RTS. I love RTS.
RTS.
It's just, that's one of my favorite genres. And Civilization, look, yes. It belongs there.
Yeah. All right. Let's try to get through the last top 10. Okay. At number 10, World of Warcraft.
I hate that game, but I respect what it did because it created, I think, the MMO. Every MMO that came out after World of Warcraft was modeled with World of Warcraft.
It didn't create it, but it sure as hell perfected it.
I didn't mean to say created, but it seems like everything was modeled all the MMOs thereafter was modeled after the Warcraft. I mean,
well, when something comes out that is revolutionary, of course things are going to copy it afterwards.
Yep. Yeah.
They still got, they got millions of subscribers. I mean, I think their highest was like 35 million subscribers, paying $15 a month to play on this server.
Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and continue on. Let's see here. Number 9, we have Oregon Trail.
Death
by dysentery.
Yep.
I never heard of dysentery, and I died by it. So I had to grab a dictionary and actually find out what did I die of. And when I read that, I was instantly pissed off.
You died. You could not.
I kept shitting, and I died by dehydration or whatever. That's fucked all the way up.
You died by shitting on yourself.
In the
uncontrollable shitting.
Damn.
Yep.
I had to get the dictionary right by the Scrabble game, and I was just like, "What is this?"
I mean, and the
motherfucker.
But the thing is, though, with this game, I played this in school.
Yeah.
That was one of those games.
In elementary school.
Yes.
Yep. I mean, the funny thing is that the game was developed all the way back in 1971, but it didn't go up in schools until it was made available for the Apple IIe computer in the 1980s, all right? And then at that point, it was like, Jesus Christ. Anybody around our age would, the first thing they will mention about Oregon Trail is you have died of dysentery. Either that or your wagon wheel breaking, which was more.
Your wagon wheel breaking.
Yeah. All right.
You get bit by snakes. It's like, fuck, dude.
That's crazy game.
Yeah. All right. Let's go on. Number 8. Super Mario Brothers.
If anyone's going to argue about this game being on any fucking gaming list, you have a screw loose or you have no history about gaming. This is the game that basically, quote unquote, single-handedly brought back gaming and just totally fucking handed us the side-scrolling genre. Period.
You see my poster up there? That's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
What, Ghostbusters?
No, the one behind it.
I know.
Yep.
Revolutionary. NES. Revolutionary.
Yeah.
Speaking of revolutionary.
Yep. Yeah, number 7. Legend of Zelda.
Oh, boy. There's only 2 flaws with this game.
What,
the
it ended?
music.
Turning it off, you had to hold the reset button.
Yeah. And also the dungeon music.
And the dungeon music. You knew where I was going. That music was annoying.
Well, see, this is one of the games that actually revolutionized open world. That was open world back in
before it was a genre.
Absolutely.
Before we even knew what it was. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Yep. And that's impressive to have that on the NES, because that was a big fucking game for 8-bit.
Yep. I mean, even now, the thing is that there are people who could sit there and speed run it, in very quick times. But even
there's some people that can play that can get to Ganon with no sword. How the fuck do you do that? How the fuck do you?
The only problem with that is you can't kill Ganon. You have to have your master sword.
I know, but you can get
the magic sword.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean,
but that definitely that's very dear to my heart.
Yep.
Zelda.
Yep. All right. Let's see here. Moving on. Number 6, Minecraft.
See, with this game, I didn't get into it at all.
Well, the thing about this game is that I think the greatest thing about Minecraft is that if you could sit there and take the creative possibility of Legos and hand it over to obsessive compulsive gamers, okay, who like to go ahead and just immerse themselves in doing things over and over again, that's pretty much what Minecraft is. All right, that's all you have to say about it. Because the thing is, not everybody is going to get the lure of Legos, but anybody who has ever played with Legos for a long time, they all know about getting stuck on that one project. Okay.
Oh yeah.
And Minecraft is like that, but the project never ends. Okay. Moving on. Top 5. Number 5, Ms. Pac-Man.
Okay, look. Hours upon hours upon hours. No matter which one I played, even the Atari Ms. Pac-Man, but the arcade one, as soon as motherfuckers put the speed on her, it was over.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, yes, this was the one that everybody had to search for and fucking play. I used to watch my sister play this game and just had the patterns down, just play the game, just get all the way like the 3, 4, 5 junior levels. And I'm just like, man. Yeah.
What was good about Miss Pac-Man is that the boards changed. Unfortunately, Pac-Man, there was that same board over and over again.
Bouncing fruit.
Yep.
Well, that's because they actually gave it, proper development time, and it showed between Miss Pac-Man and the original Pac-Man on the Atari 2600.
It even had a storyline.
Yep, exactly.
Quote unquote. Yeah.
Actually, it's one of the first arcade games that actually had cutscenes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
That's the story.
Yep. All right. Moving on. Number 4, Doom.
Yes, I have sat PC for a long time on this game, man.
Okay.
Yep.
I mean, that belongs on this list. It definitely belongs on this list.
Definitely.
And this game was one of the games that got criticized as being violent.
Not only that, but making kids violent. Okay. Yeah. Which again, that's another. Yeah. We'll that's something else for another time. Okay. So number 3. Top 3, Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time.
I remember the theme was there when I was beating this game, and the
when you first got the when you passed Ganondorf and then you got the Ganon,
and the battle music was insane. And also, the Ocarina of Time is the linchpin in the Zelda storyline to where it splits. To where Ganon actually kills Link, or Link actually kills Ganon, and that's branches the storyline. Anyway, it belongs on this list because of that. This was revolutionary. It really was.
Well, I would have to say, just like I said about all Nintendo systems, Mario usually is the tech demo, and then Legend of Zelda is usually what they show. Okay, this is what you do exactly with this system. if you concentrate on it, and it helps. They've got creative geniuses working on it. Okay,
Absolutely.
I'll save the legendary spot for number 2, which was Super Mario 64.
64.
Yeah.
Yeah. You talk about a game that totally revolutionized 3D or said that, look, this is the way 3D should be done.
Yep.
You're going to fucking
The
do it.
camera work,
Mario 64.
everything.
Yep. I
The
mean,
camera work, and you're being able to. It was just there was
The camera worked, the control worked, everything worked.
It was perfect.
Yep.
And I think the Reverend said it earlier was that like this was the tech demo of the 64, so to speak. It revolutionized the 3D world.
Not
Putting a traditional 2D character or
It didn't take
2.5.
Mario 3.5 minutes to drown.
well, not only that, but I think actually what a lot of people, when people sit there and they talk about Mario 64 as being revolutionary, they always talk about it being the transition from 2D to 3D. The one thing that they leave out, okay, and this is a reason why Nintendo fucking geniuses, and another reason why we say, all of the gaming, the majority of the gaming actual innovations that have come to the industry have been introduced by Nintendo, but it introduced analog control and what that meant to fucking console games.
Yes, it did.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
All right. You sit there, you top off 3D, okay, a more intuitive camera, all right, with pitch perfect analog control,
Yep.
and behind with the creative minds of Nintendo behind it. And yeah, look, the Nintendo 64 is not my favorite system, okay? But guess what? I know why people wanted one, especially when it first came out, okay? And that was
People wanted it because they thought Killer Instinct was going to be on it.
well,
The Ultra 64.
yeah, or amongst other things. But really, the reason why a lot of people went ahead and picked it up, even if they had to spend an exorbitant amount, was Mario 64, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and move on to number 1. And the number 1 greatest of all time game, according to Time Magazine,
According to Time.
August 23rd, 2016, is Tetris.
Puzzle games. Puzzle games, puzzle games, puzzle games.
Yep.
And puzzle games. You had this puzzle game that basically, I mean, come on, it went just about everywhere.
Yep.
Everywhere.
One thing too is I believe that Tetris was one of the reasons why it was so successful.
The Game Boy?
Yep. I mean, yeah.
That's what I said, the Game Boy. That was
Yeah.
one of the reasons why the Game Boy. Who did not have Tetris on their Game Boy?
Well, it came with the Game Boy, so that was the excuse for that. But it was so great that people just constantly played it. The versus mode on there was something else. It's like, yeah.
And and everybody played it, not just the kids. My brothers played it. I played it. We tried to get the highest score, but
Oh, actually, right there. Actually, that is the greatest thing that a lot of people don't recognize about Tetris. They're like, "Oh, it's just a puzzle game." No, look, there's a few things that you got to sit there and you got to appreciate here, and take a minute just to break it down. Number 1, you have a concept that anybody could fucking understand.
Anyone can understand it.
Okay.
Yes.
You have a concept that anybody can understand and anybody can go ahead and grasp hold of. Not only that, but then it was packaged in a way that it was like, guess what? Anybody could fucking pick up and play this.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right? In fact, the best Tetris players that I know, they're all female. I'm not kidding. Okay.
I think I've had.
except for one. All right. But then again, he's also a programmer at my work. So he thinks in a very different zone. All right. But yeah.
I saw one of my classmates get Tetris after Tetris after Tetris. I mean, he stacked the blocks so perfectly that when that one long block comes in, Tetris, and then another one comes out, and I was like, how the hell you?
I remember when I was playing Tetris 4D for the Dreamcast, and one of our Navy comrades fell asleep And then he woke up and he saw me playing, and I was still playing the same game. He saw that I had 500 plus lines, and he's like, "You were still playing the same fucking game?" And I'm like, "Yep, I was in the zone, just focused on Tetris. Love fucking Tetris. Love puzzle games in general, but love fucking Tetris."
Yeah.
And what's so unique about the way this list is that, one, it wasn't by gamers. Two, there was no money under the table, like published, it wasn't published.
That certain games are missing.
There are certain games
or
are missing.
That certain games should be replaced with others, like Rise of the Tomb Raider, for example. That's just my opinion.
What would you replace it with, Team?
Okay, look, one game that comes up is a fucking Metroid of some sort, like Super Metroid, or even the first one. Then this hurts my heart. There are no Street Fighter games on this list.
That was, and on top of that, there was no beat 'em ups either.
I was just about to say the same thing. Turtles in Time didn't make this list. Now, I can understand that this is not by gamers or whatever, but there are certain games that are in here, like Halo or anything like that, okay, I understand that they earned their place on any list. But at the same time, I'm just like, wait. You had a couple of games that revolutionized genres that are not here. So that's why I was like, I was surprised that no Madden made this list. Not the old ones. There was no basketball game on this list. That was crazy too.
Yeah.
Or what about Blades of Steel?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Sports games were really, really left out.
No, the only sports game on there was that
2K5.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. And that was an ESPN game. So, fuck, wow. Look, I can understand that certain games weren't going to be here, and it's a top 50, and many people are going to bitch about the list as far as saying, I can't believe that. No. I can understand just about each and every game being on this list, and some of them where they're actually perfect. But that was my only gripes, because I was like, wait. I didn't see any Metroid on here? That really confused me. And then to have Mortal Kombat on, even though I can understand it makes its place in history, but no Street Fighter on this list, that kind of hurt my heart, especially Third Strike not being there.
Yeah, I mean, my only thing about that one I think is kind of unforgivable. But again, framing it, it's a game. It's a list that's put together that's not by gamers. The other thing about Metroid not being in there, the top 10 is very Nintendo heavy.
It is.
Yeah, I think.
But it had 2 Marios and 2 Zeldas in the top 10.
So, I mean, it's very Nintendo heavy. So, but, that's something that we'll probably talk about later. We got to wrap this one up. I think we did pretty good, 50 in under 40 minutes. So, I will say this. Thank you for watching this video all the way to the end, folks. If you're so kind, hit the like button, hit subscribe, leave us a comment below. We like those. All right. Once again, we're the 3 middle-aged dudes. We're just cutting the bullshit here. I'm the Reverend.
The Theme here.
Brave Mouse 1.
Once again, for the benefits of common sense, logic, and gaming, best 50 games from time. Good list. Credits.